Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the desktop. Now this is pretty much a beginner's tutorial, although for those of you that aren't used to a Mac interface, then this may come in useful. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the basics of the desktop, and also something called the Finder, which is part of the desktop. If you can kind of class it as part of the desktop as well. So at the top here we have a number of menus. So we have a little Apple icon here, which is a menu in itself, and that's what's referred to as the Apple menu. So if I click that, it does bring up a menu. We have a number of other menus here. I'm not going to go through them all, but we have the Finder menu and then some other bits and pieces here. And then across to the right hand side we have some icons, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We have the day and the time, and then a couple of other icons. To the right hand side and just below that Finder bar or toolbar, we have the Macintosh hard drive. Now the Macintosh hard drive holds all your applications and all your files. You can treat it as just a great big filing cabinet if you like. And down the bottom we have what we call the dock. Now I have actually done a detailed tutorial on the dock, so if you go to ultimateguidetomac.com and then in the search box just type what is the dock, and the search term will come up, and then you can view the video tutorial. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the dock. One of the things that I would say about the dock is that it is a place that holds your trash can. So any files that you want to delete will end up going in here. So let's say, for example, I was to take this particular file here, which is an image of a clock. I can just hold my mouse button down and I can drag it to the trash can, and the trash can will actually go slightly darker to say that I'm hovering over it. You see, like so. If I keep my finger on it without letting go, then it will actually open the trash. So if I move it down and let go, there you go, it's gone from here and now it's sitting in the trash. As you can see, there looks like there's paper in the trash because that's because I have things in there. Now to empty it, what I would do is I would move down to the trash, keep my finger on the mouse button, wait for the menu to appear, and then click on empty trash. Then what would happen is all the files in there would literally be deleted at that point, so you couldn't get any access to them again, and the waste paper basket wouldn't show any paper in it, so you know there's actually nothing in there. Alternatively, what you can do is if you want to put something in the trash, you can actually do it from what we call the Finder menu. So you can click on the Finder menu, and as long as this is highlighted, because this is the particular thing that I want to put in the trash, I can just tap it once, and then I can go to the Finder menu, move down to empty trash. Sorry, not empty trash. Move to trash. Sorry, it's in the File menu. And then you move down to move to trash, and there we go. There's a little noise that goes with it to say that it's been put in the trash, and it's disappeared from the desktop. Now your desktop is probably going to look very different to mine, because you can change things. This background image here of the world, you can change this to your liking. You can choose whatever you want. You can put a picture of your kids on there, or your pet, or whatever you fancy. So it will look different, and your dock will also look different too. You may notice that some people, most of the time, your sort of Macintosh hard drive is over here on the right hand side, but any of these items you can move. So if I wanted to put the Macintosh hard drive over to the left hand side of my desktop, I'd literally click down on my mouse once, and then I'd drag it over here, and then I can put it over there. In fact, I can put it wherever I want. I can put it right in the middle of the screen, whatever takes your fancy. But I'm going to pretty much leave mine up there. That's how, when you first get your Mac, that's where it'll be. Okay, going back to this picture on the background, let me show you how you can change that. If you click on the Apple menu here and move down to System Preferences, another window will appear. and you'll have all these icons in here. This is all the settings for your computer and all your preferences. But the one you're most interested in at the moment is the desktop and screensaver. So if you just tap on that once, these images will appear here. Now you'll see across the top here that you have a desktop and screensaver. You need to make sure that the desktop one is highlighted, not this one here, but the desktop one. And this is where you can choose your desktop image. So desktop pictures, these are the ones that are provided by Apple and the ones that you have on your system. Now depending on what version of OS X you're running will determine which pictures will be in here. So essentially I can pick one of these now, and you'll be able to see that the desktop picture changes. So if I click this one, there we go, and it's now a completely different picture. Click the next one, and so forth, and you can pretty much choose whichever one you like. You can have some elephants if you like, and you can also choose from your iPhoto library. Now presently I don't actually have anything in iPhoto. I do have things in Aperture though, so I can pick something from here. It's best to go for a landscape option rather than say a portrait photo. For example, if I was to choose this portrait photo here, you see it has to scale it, so I'm missing most of the photo. Whereas if I was to choose a landscape photo, it fills the page nicely, so I get to see the entire photo. You'll be able to do exactly the same in iPhoto. So although you see here I'm in Aperture. Aperture is another photo program which is done by Apple, and that's the one I use over iPhoto. But if you've got any photos now, iPhoto, all your pictures will appear here, and then you can choose them on your desktop. So let me go back here, and I'm going to leave desktop pictures highlighted rather than iPhoto or Aperture, and I'm going to ask it with this little checkbox down here to change the picture every 30 minutes. So if you're the type of person that wants a bit of variety, you can just click on here, and as you can see it changed the first time, and in 30 minutes time it will change again, okay, to any one of these images within the desktop pictures folder. So just a bit of variety in life. You've also got something here which says translucent menu bar. Now if you look at the top here, you'll notice it's got a slightly blue hue, and the reason behind that is because the photo is blue, whereas if I was to change to a green one, there you go, it's slightly green now. So it's slightly translucent, it's slightly see-through. Now if I was to turn that off, it will just go to white. So you can choose whether you want it the solid white colour or you want it slightly translucent. Okay, so I'm just going to change the picture every 30 minutes again. And that essentially is how you change your desktop image, and you can choose whichever image you like. You may have noticed that I have a folder here which I created, and I named it Stuff. Now you can create folders on your desktop, and there's a number of ways in which to do it. The first one would be to go to your File menu and then choose New Folder from the menu. And as you can see, a new folder appears, and it's already highlighted here in blue, so I can literally just start typing to name the folder, and I shall just call it New Folder, and then I can press Return, and there it is. And if I double click on it, I can open it. Obviously there's nothing in it because I haven't put anything inside yet. The second way of which you can create a new folder is if you just press down on your Control key on the keyboard and then press on your mouse button. A menu will appear, and the first one in the list is New Folder, and again you can just start naming it automatically, press Return, and there's your folder. So they're the two ways of creating folders on your desktop. I did say earlier that I would talk about some of these items or these icons up here. Now this is the menu bar, and these are all applications. But they don't quite work in the same way as a normal application. They're quite useful to have. It's not dissimilar to the dock in the fact that they're at the top. But rather than opening an entire application, if I was to click on Evernote, you see it just drops down a window. And in this case, I can just start typing a note. And the reason these are so nice is, let's say, for example, I was working in Safari. All I have to do is I have to click on Evernote, and I can just start typing myself. a note. Now, and then all I have to do is click save, and then I'm back to where I was. So rather than opening an entire application, it's just quick access. And then I can type myself a note, carry on with what I was doing without the need to try and find an application, open it, close it down, and blah, 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 blah. That's what menu bar icons are, and they're applications in themselves. You can come across them on the App Store. They'll tell you whether they're a menu bar application, and they can just be quite useful. So that's why my menu bar will probably look very different to yours. This one here, for example, the one with looks like a reverse clock, is actually Time Machine. So you may have noticed earlier that it was spinning. That's because it was backing up my computer to another hard drive, and it does that on the hour every hour. So that's why you saw that moving. Doesn't do too much for me. I just know it says latest time capsule backup today at 1924. So that's telling me when it was last backed up. There are some things that you will have, such as Bluetooth. That's a Bluetooth icon, so you can turn off your computer Bluetooth on and off. You've got your Wi-Fi, so internet, whether or not it's on or off. You've got your volume. You've got your battery indicator, presuming you're using a MacBook or a MacBook Pro like I am. Your clock. You have something called Spotlight. This is a way to search for files and applications on your computer. I'm going to be doing a detailed tutorial about Spotlight in the near future, so I won't go into detail now. And then you have, again, presuming which version of OS 10 you're running, you'll have something called notifications. So by clicking that, it just opens up notifications, and by clicking it again, it makes them disappear. I won't go into detail about notifications and all the other things. That in itself, the Spotlight is a kind of a video in itself, or a tutorial in itself. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much the desktop. I hope you found that of some use. Please leave a comment if you found it useful, or if you think I've missed anything. Share it with friends, and don't forget ultimateguidetomac.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.